And this was not a good game. 331 yards total for the Green Bay Packers, 17 points. The Broncos managed to, in all their dysfunction, they managed to score 339 yards. Numbers for both quarterbacks, very, very pedestrian. Just not a good football game with two bad teams. Here are the themes of the day that I just can't get over. Number one, offensive line, tight ends, DeGuara at the fullback position. You have to be better. Like, you have to play better on a consistent basis. We get beat on stupid, easy, not schematics, not they did a good job guessing the play here. We get beat because we don't block and we don't have good footwork. We're in the wrong body position. You just get beat sometimes. You don't need to get beat. And this team is not this is one of the worst defensive football teams in the National Football League. And number two, defensively, tackle the ball carrier. You gave up over 140 yards rushing. Now, the Denver Broncos can run the football, but tackle the ball carrier. And we're going to get into like the pass rush idea that they had for Russell Wilson, which, I mean, but just you have to tackle the ball carrier on a consistent basis. And again, what is absolutely baffling is that you're coming off a bye week. What do you do during a bye week? You get better at make sure your guys are hammered in on the basics. We talked about it last week. What do we hope? If we go back in time, what do we hope they get accomplished during the bye week? I hope they get their footwork right so they can block and tackle better. That's all we said. Make sure you can block and tackle really well. You'll win some games. And they didn't seem to do that. I'm going to go back to our bye week questions. Before we get into the tape, I just want to go into the bye week questions again and just answer the questions that we had from last week. Are we going to do this? Number one, how can Green Bay defense, 14th overall, effectively stop the run if we were giving up 143 yards per game? Well, we can't. We gave up 145 yards rushing for the Broncos, and I didn't count them, but I bet you were double digit missed tackles in this football game. And those things add up, man. Like, somebody goes, "Wow, that was only a yard. That was only 4 yards." Some of them are 10. Some of them are, 4 yards at 10 times is 40 yards rushing. That's a big difference. I mean, these things they matter. Number two, how does this team generate more rushing yards? We're only at 81 yards per game, 27 good for 27th overall. We did do that. We got 137 yards on 29 carries. What was the difference? Well, we talked about it last week. The difference between sometimes Aaron Jones runs and A.J. Dillon runs. It actually happened this game that we probably we'll see, but we probably haven't talked about it so far. The difference was you had some explosive runs. You had four ball carriers that had a 10-plus yard run. Explosive runs make the difference. In these games, if you can get a couple, that's a bad football team you're playing. If you can break a couple runs, all of a sudden that 81 yards, we talked about it last week, goes to 120, goes to 130. All of a sudden you feel really good about yourself. Aaron Jones gets 8 carries for 35. It's not a great day. It's a welcome sight. Get him back. AJ ran really hard. He missed some plays, but he ran really hard. He did good in the run and the pass game. Set us up for some success late in the game. There was a holding call. Everybody knows. Question number 3, how can Jordan Love increase efficiency over the next month? Not only this game, but over the next couple of months, Steelers, Rams, Vikings, you got some games you can win. 55% completion percentage going into the game, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, or 6 interceptions, 10 sacks. Did he get better? Yeah. 21 for 31, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think he got sacked maybe once. Here's the thing that's happening with Jordan Love. One, on like the last pick, he's locked into that play. They got the coverage they wanted. He's going to throw the ball. Watson's on in the game. Torrey, he got hurt the play before. Sam Torrey will show it. He misses big plays. Big plays on blitz pickup. He's got happy feet right now. Like the touchdown to Dobbs in the back of the end zone, like that's a bad throw. I mean, given what's going on there, if you watch the pocket and get your feet right, throw a dart, right? You get lucky on a couple of these things. You make your own luck as well. Everything, that all balances out. I don't want to create that narrative. And then the other thing is your receivers have to make you better. We'll show a red line throw that, if you don't hold the red line, you can't make a red line throw. Red line throws on the sideline. We've talked about it before. If you don't hold the red line as a receiver and you let the corner push you into the sideline, it's tough to make catches. It's tough to make plays for your quarterback. Number 4, are we running what we are good at or what we know how to coach? Now, we held a team to 19 on defense. They're a bad team, but we held them to 19 on defense. That should be good enough to win. Okay? Offensively, and this is an offensive-led football team. This has been an offensive-led football team. This is an offensive head coach. Matt LaFleur was the owner of the 24th or 25th ranked offense in Tennessee when he got hired by Green Bay. Then he went 13-3 3 years in a row with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Last year didn't go so well. Now we're here. Our last 4 games, 18 points, 20 points, 17 points, 17 points. I played for John Fox. John Fox would tell us if John Fox thought our offense was not good at all, didn't care. It was a defensive coach. All he cared about was defense. John Fox, and it used to infuriate me. I mean, I'm telling you, the arguments that we used to have about this that stem from this conversation. But he used to say, if you score 20, you should win the game because I don't think my defense should give up more than 20 points. We can't score 20 points. In other words, the bar was 20. 20 was a low bar. We were thinking, I'm coming from Green Bay. We're scoring 30 a game. 20 was a low bar. That's all they were asking for. We can't even get 20 points. In other words, the worst scenario in my professional career as far as expectations, we're not reaching. That's a problem. Way too many footwork errors, way too many assignment errors, run and pass. And this team is just not good enough to miss out on opportunities to find success. That was one of the worst defense. Here's the stats going into that game. The Broncos under defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, who I like Vance. I work with Vance in Miami, but it hasn't been easy for him this last year. They were last in points at 31.7. They dropped 70 burger by Miami. Last in yards per game, 440. Last in rushing, 172.3 yards per game. So obviously better than that in every category against us. And it just leads to that fifth question, which was tough. Is like, is this the right? Are we in rebuild mode? Is this the right staff for the rebuild? And the only thing I'd ask right now is like, I don't know what should change. You've got to give Jordan Love time to find success. You have to give Coach LaFleur time to figure out what this offense can be good at. My concern is when you're doing the basics wrong all the time, like it's just all over the tape. Every single game, you just got guys not taking the right foot, just basic stuff, footwork, body position, hands. If you're not doing that and you got young players and you're just trying to inundate them and overload them with scheme, I just think it's just a tough recipe for success.